And what do you make of Donald Trump meeting Vladimir Putin in Alaska with Vladimir Zelensky already indicating a deal might not be possible?
Look, again, that's another area of the world where Australians hope for peace, and we really hope that President Trump can land something. And of course, President Zelensky's been leading his country for a lot of years through this, since February 22. There's a lot of Ukrainians who've suffered as a result of the war, and I understand that he would be very hesitant to settle for anything less than his people would expect or accept. So again, another peace process which is fragile, difficult, and which will involve a lot of work and compromise.
Since the election, you've come out very stridently against net zero. You told your constituents in an email recently titled "Gaslit by Labor, the Truth About Net Zero." Have you ever been bullied into disbelieving something you knew to be true? You then said Anthony Albanese and Chris Bowen were gaslighting Australians on climate policy, and you said the system's a scam. The net zero economy favours big foreign commercial interests. Are you a climate sceptic? And clearly you'll be pushing hard for the coalition to dump net zero, I take it.
Well, what's a climate sceptic? First of all, Andrew, seeing we're just getting on the same page. It's
okay. Do you think
6:45 here?
Do you think climate change is real? Do you think it's occurring?
Yeah, the climate's been changing throughout. Of course, the climate change has been occurring throughout history. The question is, how much does Australia have a role in changing the climate when we produce 1.1% of the world's emissions? We export 25% of the world's coal. We export 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas to the biggest emitters like China, India, Japan, and other countries. In the Asia-Pacific region alone, the uptake of fossil fuels is increasing, as it did last year. So the question is, what should we do about it? Should we transfer our heavy industry, Australian jobs, offshore? Should we demand that the Australian people pay more for their power bills? Should we actually orchestrate a massive transfer of wealth through our tax system so that Australians are paying more for their power? And I think that's fundamentally unjust and it's hypocritical, and that's why I've called out Labor on this.
And I guess you're hoping then the coalition comes to an anti-net zero policy.
Well, I assume I'm in the majority, but given that we just suffered a massive loss at the election, given that we're going through a process of revisiting policy, I've spoken my mind, but I'm probably in the minority, and that's okay. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't fight for a better deal for the Australian people.
A lot of talk about you, Andrew Hastie. Are you interested in leading the Liberal Party at any point?
I've said I'm interested in leading the Liberal Party, but around May, I made it very clear that my young family, my wife, comes first, and also my constituency. So I'm just doing what I can to serve my constituents here in Canning. I'm obviously enjoying this role of Home Affairs, and I'll keep doing that. That's my job. But I'm not going to lie to you and say I don't have any ambition to lead. Of course I do. But timing in politics is everything. And right now, Sussan Ley is our leader, and we're doing everything we can to build a platform to win the next election.
Do you think you have what it takes to lead the Liberal Party from the West Coast with the experience that you have behind you?
Yes, I do. And Andrew, all this practice getting up talking to you early in the morning, it's possible.
Andrew Hastie, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.